When hope is gone, undo this lock and send me forth on a moonlit walk. Release restraint level 0. Hey kids, wanna see a dead body?
Hi guys, this is the Void of the Ravenclaw. Welcome back to another fanfiction story. If you like this type of content, smash the like button and subscribe for future videos and updates that I do post on my community tab out frequently. Now this is the son of Brainiac, 19. Before we continue, I'll be referring Stars and Stripes just as Stars and Stripes. I didn't really look up her name. Now, Stars and Stripes, Quirk, New Order, was a lot more complex than I originally thought. So I had to go in more detail into her quirk to make sure I got it right. I'm not sure I got it right totally, but it is what it is, I guess. Let's continue, or start. Deku is currently flying towards the next city with a sonic boom flying through the sky as he stopped his momentum while hovering over the city, over the next city, so high up in the air no one will be able to notice him, hovering above the city. Deku searched for the biggest life signature in the entire city. But all the life signatures he could sense were too weak. He would not find a challenge in this city. So naturally, he decided to take out the city entirely with his Kai energy. If there's no challenge here to be found, then there's no point in keeping the city intact. Deku channeled his energy in the palm of his hand and shot out a beam of green Kai beam, completely vaporizing the city engulfing the entire city in a gulp of green light. Deku noticed his energy is running low from fighting Captain Celebrity, using several key beams, using his energy to vaporize several cities. It takes a lot out of a guy. But it's a bit disconcerting to Deku. Body's been acting weird ever since he absorbed One for All and absorbed his quirk into his body. It's gonna be possible for him to run out of energy, so something's definitely not right. It seems I need to take a break. Deku flew upwards in a sonic boom, exiting the planet's atmosphere and flying towards the sun. As he has his hands extended outwards on both sides, as he begins to soak in the sun's solar energy and begin to absorb it in his body, and recovering his energy at the same time. I might have access to Kai energy, but I'm nowhere near mastering it. But for now, it should be good enough to handle anything on this planet. Deku spent several days absorbing the solar radiation that the sun produces. Deku was about to go back to the planet and continue his method of challenging any American heroes, then eradicating the city afterwards. He felt a presence. Deku immediately turned around to see who dares approach him. As Deku turned around to see a man wearing some black Roman armor. Or Roman armor or Greek? I'm not really sure when it comes to Ares and all that, but anyways, let's continue. I think it's about time we have a little chat, Deku. Or should I say Brainiac Zero? Deku narrowed his eyes. You seem to be quite knowledgeable, whoever you are. Ah, look at me, I'm being rude. I am the god of war, Ares, at your service. As he gave a mocking bow. A god. The Olympian god at that. What are you doing all the way out here? You lot are not known to travel out of your domain. That's your question. Watching your progress, of course. Of all the mortals I've came across, you have caused war to such a degree, it impressed me. So I kept a watchful eye over your progress. Haven't existed for very long, but the carnage you've already caused. Most impressive. Think you are bonded with one of the Lords of Chaos? Not even I saw that coming. But I'm curious about something. What are you getting at, Ares? With your power, you could easily... Try this again. With your power, you could easily get rid of the one you call Father, Brainiac. He's in my capabilities, but he granted me life. That's the only reason he is still living. But that doesn't matter. Since you revealed yourself to me, this is the perfect opportunity to gauge my capabilities against an actual god. One of those new gods, but an actual god. These new gods are powerful. That is true, but they're nowhere near any of the other gods' level. That's a part of any pantheon, according to what I've learned through my education. Ares has a grin on his face. He was hoping this interaction would lead into a fight. He's been dying to test Deku out. I was hoping you would say that, Deku. Ares drew out his sword out of his scabbard. The moment he finished that action, Deku could sense power radiating from Ares in his weapon. Deku made a kryptonite katana in his hand. So you're going with the kryptonite weapon this time around. Good choice. If you made a weapon out of those black bones you create, they wouldn't be able to withstand my attacks. But with your kryptonite weapon, you might be able to withstand a few swings of my blows. I could sense a faint source of magic condense around your Kryptonian weapon. Kryptonian, but a kryptonite weapon, basically. Deku wasn't stupid enough to believe him, but once he sensed the magic that's infused with his katana, he realized he's doing it subconsciously. They both rush at each other as their swords collide, as they create a crushing presence on the battlefield. Even all the nearby asteroids that are flying through space become crushed from the pressure when it entered the battle zone. They both push their weapons in a slash, begin to slash each other in rapid succession, creating sparks as their blades collide. Ares tried to stomp Deku in the stomach, only for the biological android to catch his foot and slam his free elbow into his face, or the face of his helmet, sending Ares towards the nearby planet. Deku shot a Kai Blast from the palm of his hand. And when his attack eventually hit Ares, it flung him down even faster as Ares began to descend into the planet's atmosphere. When Ares landed, he made a huge crater. Ares slowly got up to his feet. His armor is smoking from re-entry into the planet's atmosphere. Despite the force of the attack he received from Deku, it was nowhere near strong enough to actually cause him harm. But his strength was impressive in his base form. He knows Deku can release more of his power. His habits. He is fully aware. He knows his opponent likes to take things slow in a fight. Ares had to block a sword swing from Deku that just appeared out of nowhere, as he was forced down to one knee from the pressure that Deku is displaying as their weapons grind against each other. As the ground began to crack underneath Ares. Deku's inner thoughts. I didn't think the Olympians would take notice of me this soon. This is going to be trouble. This is definitely troubling. Ares is only the start. I have a sinking feeling he only noticed me. He's the only one that noticed my presence because of the God of War domain. It's only a matter of time before the other Olympians notice of me. Sorry, give me guys. Highly doubt they'll be friendly. If the stories are true, they won't take kindly to people challenging their authority. I might not be challenging their authority directly, but my mere existence would be a challenge to their authority regardless. I might have to get rid of them, but I'm nowhere strong enough yet. As Deku applied more pressure with his kryptonite katana against Ares' magical sword, as the ground begins to sink in underneath the both of them, just because of Deku's strength, Ares pushed upwards with his sword, overpowering Deku. He swung a wide swing, basically a wide slash, making Deku hop backwards as he skid to a stop, noticing his sword has cracks in it. He gently placed his finger across the cracks of the kryptonite katana and repair it back to his original state. Ares and Deku rushed towards each other, breaking the ground underneath them as they rushed towards each other. As their swords collided once again, with blinding speed, making sparks when their sword collided, as nearby trees begin to shatter into nothingness. Deku kicked Ares in the stomach, making him go sliding backwards. Deku capitalized and swung his sword in a upward slash, breaking Ares' guard in the process. Deku shot fire out of his mouth, point blank range, as green fire enveloped the God of War Ares. Ares simply slapped the fire blast in the sky with the back of his hand. Ares had a grin on his face. As Ares' magical sword disappeared from his hand, then reappeared right back in the scabbard, or the sheath. The scene, the battle is over. Deku crushed the kryptonite katana in his hands, as he crushed it to little grain particles of dust that fall from his fists. I believe I've seen enough. You are indeed powerful. For an immortal. Or what they call a biological android, if I'm right. If I'm correct. And I highly doubt you will age. It's quite fascinating, really. Not unkillable, but you won't die from natural causes. But regardless, I have no doubt you'll get stronger in the future. I look forward to what you do in the future, Deku. As Ares bestowed a blessing upon Deku, you should be honored. It's not every day you get a blessing from the god of war. A small glowing symbol appeared on the back of Deku's neck, glowing brightly for a few seconds, then disappearing completely. Deku noticed he doesn't feel any different. It's not that type of blessing. Let's just say it's for protection, just in case. I have no doubt it will come handy in the future. Think of it as insurance policy, in case another god or goddess tries to kill you. If the other Libyans learn of your existence, many of my brothers and sisters, specifically my sister, will try to hunt you down. They would consider you an abomination, specifically Artemis, the goddess of the hunt. Already has a deep hatred for men. You, being a male, would be the least of your problems. You're technically a disturbance of the natural order of things, the natural balance. Learn to wonder what you get out of this, Ares. You're not the type of god that's known to show kindness. You're a bloodthirsty monster like me. Ares started to laugh. You are correct. I do get benefits from this. The more carnage and war you cause, the more benefit I get. I am the god of war, after all. I thrive on war, chaos. Chaos is more of a personal taste on my part. Deku understood Ares. The god of war gets his power from conflict. More conflict there is in the world, the stronger he gets. We'll meet again, Deku. You can count on it. As Ares flashed away in a red light, disappearing and returning back to Olympus. Back to his domain. Only reason Ares could even interact with Deku on this planet is because there is no god or goddess in that area, that claimed domain. That part of the galaxy is godless. And trespassing on another god's domain is an act of war. After all the other pantheons don't really play nice with each other, as no god or goddess made claim around this planet. Ares can do whatever he wants. But he didn't want to stay too long. Last thing he needs is his fellow Olympian gods or goddesses learning about Deku. It's far too soon for that. Deku, or Brainiac Zero, is the missing key to his plan to kill his father, Zeus, the god of Olympus. Ares has always hated that bastard. Only person in his goddamn family he even remotely cares about is his mother, Hera. Ares doesn't show it, but he does cares about his mother. His father is a different story. Deku stood there for a brief second and ran his fingers through his long green hair and sighed to himself. What a letdown. As Deku wanted to fight Ares more, he didn't even release any of his sealed power. He supposed it is for the best, for now. He knows one of the American heroes is running towards his direction. Apparently Deku was noticed by one of the American heroes that has a speed quirk. When he was close enough to Deku, Deku clotheslined the hero. As the pro hero hits the ground and goes skidding like a ragdoll against the ground, Deku pointed his index finger at the hero, still in motion, and shot a death beam that pierced right through his skull, killing him instantly. Deku begins to hover in the air and blast off towards the nearest city. The moment he stopped flying, as he begins to hover above the next human city, he's finally arrived. Deku could sense someone powerful coming from behind him as he turned around to see a woman on some sort of standing on top of a stealth armor. You must be the villain named Deku. I've been expecting you. Only Deku was dragged into his mindscape. That he was being dragged into his own mindscape with alerts in his mind. He found himself back in his mindscape. It's a black city that symbolized his mind, as he was surprised as he sees a very familiar face that he thought he would never see. After all, he killed him himself. It's been far too long, Deku. I did not expect to see you again, especially in my own mind. I thought I killed you. Specifically, absorbed you. It shouldn't be possible. You are correct, Deku. You indeed killed me. At least, my body. But when you absorb my life force, including my quirk, I always knew one day I would die. So I took precautions. Even if I die, I won't truly die. I'm so integrated with my quirk, you would have to destroy you would have to destroy all for one to do so. Just say I am Festus, a spirit that's connected to my quirk. But I'm not here about that. I'm here to warn you, Stars and Stripes is a very dangerous opponent. Even for someone with your power. She can warp reality using her quirk, New Order. Why would that matter to you, all for one? You see, if you die, I die. The moment you absorbed my life force, I became a part of you. And don't get me wrong, I fully intend to take over your body. You're going to find that a tad bit difficult. I'm quite stubborn. I'm fully aware of that. I've always liked a challenge. I originally was going to do this to my old apprentice, Shigaraki. But you took care of that, unfortunately. But my plan still worked. As as long as you have as long as you have my cork. You truly made a foolish decision, absorbing it. I won't be killed that easy. I'm internal. My rival might be dead, but my ambition still remains. This won't stop me. I will take over your body, destroy your soul, or just absorb it, and with your body, the things I could accomplish, the worlds I can conquer, the chaos I can bring. It'll make what I did on this planet look like child's play. Quite the arrogant human. Feel free to try. But you fail, like everyone else that stands in my way. Don't know how I'm going to get rid of you. I'll kill you somehow, again. For now, I'll heed your warning. Deku immediately left his mindscape. Only a couple seconds has passed in the real world. So you must be the famous Stars and Stripes I keep hearing about. It knows Stars and Stripes was standing on a stealth bomber hovering in the sky with several more stealth bombers behind her. She had her full unit present in this battlefield that's about to start. Stars and Stripes ordered her unit to activate their energy shields around their stealth bombers. You think you can accomplish what others have failed? Even the almighty All Might could stand against me. What chances do you have, human? Don't underestimate us humans. There's only one way to find out. Stars and Stripes finally used her quirk, New Order. She gripped her fist as she says, atmosphere. Atmosphere from here. In 100 meters in front of me, atmosphere will not exist or cease to exist. As she created a 1 meter zone of harsh space condition, creating a pocket of a star with no air all around Deku. Deku noticed the change of lack of atmosphere, no air whatsoever. Deku started to laugh. You're gonna need more than that. I'm not limited like you humans. I could breathe in the vast gape of the galaxy. Function in any type of atmosphere, including the vast outer space. Deku was assaulted by various different types of blasts, of laser, on all sides, from the stealth bombers. Deku absorbed all the lasers, then redirected it at Stars and Stripes and the other stealth bombers. When she was hit by the laser, or was about to get hit, she imposed a new rule. I could hold lasers, catching the lasers in her hand and begin to mold it like clay. Because she made a roll of the laser and the vacuum of, because she did it, the vacuum of space disappeared. I don't know if she could do this, but if she's able to mold lasers, I think she would be able to do this, but that's not really important. As she molded the laser into an orb and jumped off the stealth bomber, and slammed the orb of energy into Deku's stomach, propelling him away from the city. Stars and Stripes followed when she landed back on the stealth bomber that she leapt off of, and began to follow the villain, or alien. She's not sure what to describe, to categorize him. I can't really pronounce that right now, but anyways, let's continue. The stealth bombers weren't too far behind her. She made it towards Deku while he was still airborne and slammed her fist into his face. With the requirements being met, she made a new rule. In order to use New Order, Deku, if you move an inch from that spot, your heart will stop. Deku finally stopped his momentum and hovered to a stop as a little blood was coughed out of his mouth. Deku's heart did stop for a brief second. Then his regeneration kicked in. Deku wiped the blood from his mouth with his forearm. Stars and Stripes touched the air once again and made a new roll. She created an air guardian that looks exactly like her, but a giant. As all the stealth bombers opened fire towards the air avatar, Stars and Stripes construct caught the beams of energy. After Stars and Stripes made a new rule that her air avatar could catch and mold laser. As she molded the energy to some sort of energy sphere that's made of pure energy, hovering over Deku because of his large size, because of the air avatar's size. As the air avatar lunged the energy sphere, or specifically a javelin, into Deku, as he was sent crashing into the ground. When the air javelin dissipated from the hands of the wind avatar of Stars and Stripes, you could see a heavily damaged Deku. He's missing the entire right side of his body. Deku immediately started to regenerate his missing pieces of the right side of his body entirely, as his clothes starts to repair itself as well. Stars and Stripes jump off the stealth bomber when the stealth bomber descends close enough to the ground so she can land safely. Deku did not know Stars and Stripes was on the ground, as she directly controlled the air avatar as a humongous wind fist collide with his body, making Deku skid backwards. Blast him backward almost an entire mile until he skid to a stop. Deku was struck again by the humongous wind fist that he can't see as he goes flying backwards into a nearby boulder, crushing right through it, and flying out the other side of the boulder right into the side of a mountain. Deku delodged himself out of the mountain that he was imprinted in. As Deku dusts his shoulders off, small pebbles and rocks begin to fall off his shoulder, just dusting himself off, and getting all the stray bits of rock out of his hair. Deku immediately fired off a powerful Kai out of his hand, or Ki. I don't know really what the technical term for it. Anyways, let's just continue. A Kai beam moved so fast, Stars and Stripes didn't have time to react, as her air construct dissipated. Deku Deku flash stepped right in front of Stars and Stripes and threw a right hook, only for the pro hero to catch his fist. The moment Stars and Stripes caught Deku's fist, a slight wind pressure was created from the force of Deku's attack. Deku landed a powerful left hook, sending Stars and Stripes skidding backwards. The moment Lady Stars and Stripes was sent flying backwards, Deku immediately charged forward above the ground and land a left and a right hook repeatedly, landing several combinations. The stealth bombers fly over and begin to open fire upon Deku, shooting out beams of energy. As Deku was forced to dodge and weave around the beams of light, like it was child's play, Deku leaned to the side and dodged an incoming right fist from Stars and Stripes, then kicked her away as he flashed up and landed on one of the stealth bombers. The pilot of the stealth bomber could clearly see Deku on top of his aircraft, as he gave the pilot a smirk and waved his finger back and forth like he's scolding a child. Deku shot a death beam and pierced the pilot's chest, killing him. Jumped off as the plane crashed and gets destroyed. Deku flashed up and landed on another plane as he extended his hand and his arm outward towards the pilot. He shot a condensed Kai, a very condensed and powerful Kai blast. Before the beam made contact, the pilot ejected from the aircraft. As the plane blows up, as the pilot is safe, Deku is hovering in the sky as he unleashed his green heat vision that flow around the sky like omega beams and hit every one of the stealth bombers before the aircraft could blow up or explode. All the pilots ejected out of the aircraft, saving their lives. As Stars and Stripes watch all of her comrades' aircraft all blow up, she does relieve only two of her comrades died. She's sad that they died in the first place, but this is war. She refocused her attention towards Deku, that's slowly descending down to the ground, not too far away from her. Now those little pests are dealt with. It's your turn, hero. Suddenly Stars and Stripes were surrounded by round, small digital portals on all sides. Deku shot out death beams out of his index finger at one of the nearby portals that's in front of him. As the beam traveled through that portal, then exited out the other, and began to fly in all different directions from all the small portals around Stars and Stripes, forcing Stars and Stripes to dodge the death beams that are coming her way through the portal in rapid succession. Deku increased the amount of death beams are shooting out of the portals. As one of the death beams hit her shoulder, the other one hit her knee, forcing her on one knee. She had to roll out of the way from another death beam. She is completely boxed in. She doesn't have enough time to try to escape, so she is forced to dodge cautiously. She might be able to use New Order to catch one of the beams, but she doesn't have enough time to catch them all. That's the only reason why she's not using her quirk. Stars and Stripes use the ground to create a dome over herself. Her hand on the ground, making a new rule that the earth be underneath her will protect her. She didn't understand it. It seems like her quirk, New Order, doesn't completely work on Deku. She figured Deku is an alias, and that's why she felt New Order is not entirely working on him completely. Deku smashed through the rock dome and grabbed her by the face and tossed her towards the city. She came flying right into a building. Deku appeared right above her and slammed his fist into her stomach, making her cough up spit as she made an imprint in the cement in the middle of the street. Deku proceeded to kick Stars and Stripes into a nearby gas station as he shot a death beam into the gas pumps as it ruptured, the gas station pretty much blew up. As there was a loud explosion, Deku heard another explosion. He finally recognized the sound. Deku turned around as he spun around to catch a cannon shell from a tank that made him go skidding backwards as the cannon shell exploded in his hands, but no damage was received on his body. As you can see, his hand is extended outwards as smoke is beginning to emanate off the palm of his hand from the shell he caught, basically from the American tank of the US government. So the Americans are finally making their move. It's how canny how their technologies are similar, according to Earth. As several more tanks came rolling in, surrounding him on all sides. You definitely brought the big guns out. You brought your gun. You brought yours. I'll bring mine. With one snap of his finger, a humongous portal appeared in the sky, hovering over the city, as a robotic brainiac dragon came flying out of the portal, smashing onto one of the tanks, landing on top of it, destroying everything nearby as glass begins to shatter. Destroy everything. Orders confirmed. Beginning cleansing protocol. The Dragon unit shot a large beam of energy at the tanks. Then the beam begins to travel into tank after tank and cutting right through the buildings like it was cut by an energy knife. As the buildings slide off and hit the ground from the condensed beam that the robotic dragon is producing from its mouth. As it pointed down to the tank being underneath them and fired, destroying it as well. As the metal dragon grabbed the nearest tank in his mouth and began to crush it, as the man inside began to scream, as blood begins to spit out from the entrance of the tank that's being crushed and tore right through with his sharp metal teeth. After it was done, it threw it to the side, as the robotic brainiac dragon produced a unnatural shriek that sent everything in the nearby area to go flying backwards. Only Deku was able to withstand this sort of display. Thing is moving from Deku is his green hair. Several more similar portals open up in the middle of the sky, as more robotic dragons came flying out. It's not just happening in this city, it's happening to all the cities in America. Deku had his fun now. He's serious now. Deku yanked Stars and Stripes with his telekinesis and caught her by the throat. I would absorb you in your quirk, but I have a sinking feeling something planned, if that would occur. Quirk would be useful to integrate in my body. But I'm not stupid enough to allow that to happen. You could cause some serious damage with your type of quirk. I can't allow that. You're gonna have to die. Deku immediately begins to electrocute her by channeling green electricity through his body into hers, making Stars and Stripes scream out in pain. When he was done electrocuting her, he flicked her in the forehead with his opposite hand as she shot off like a rocket, skidding across the street like a ragdoll. Deku could hear all for one laugh in his mind. Apparently, he's highly enjoying the show. He did not know All for One could see what he's doing in the real world. It's a bit troubling that his consciousness is in his mind, but he'll deal with that another time. He needs to stay focused on his main objection. He'll deal with that leech later. Stars and Stripes managed to recover and stop her momentum. She immediately charged forward, swinging her fist. When she got into range, Deku swiftly dodged to the right, creating a large bone shard and stabbed her in the shoulder. Deku hit her with his heat vision, knocking her back as she's traveling in the sky from the beam, hitting into her stomach. Deku immediately shut off his heat vision and got into a stance that is well known when Vegeta performs it in Dragon Ball Z, as he shot out a Gallic gun at Stars and Stripes. If it wasn't for her well-trained instincts, she would have got hit fully by that energy attack. She couldn't dodge it completely, but at least she didn't lose any limbs. Her left arm is completely useless. She might have some internal bleeding, as she started to cough up blood from her mouth. That wound in her right shoulder doesn't help things at all. She yanked the bone shard out of her shoulder as the bloody bone dropped to the floor with a clank, with a bone noise hitting the ground. Fortunate for Stars and Stripes, the Galagun key technique or whatever did not detonate in this city. Unfortunately, the mountains in the distance wasn't so fortunate, as there was a loud explosion, as a good chunk of the mountain is gone as the wind picks up from the blast alone. That's where we're going to stop it. Hope you guys have a good night and day, judging by time zone, and I'll catch you in the next video.